Would I be the asshole if I told my younger sister's fiance that she lied about my older sister when they met? Okay, so to set the scene here, we have my older sister Kay, female 32, my younger sister Jay, female 28, my younger sister's fiance Matt, male 32. Kay and Matt met at work about 2.5, 3 years ago. He was hired in as a consultant at her company on a few months assignment. They became close, but nothing happened because they probably didn't think it was professional. I think both, or I know that my sister at least, was hoping that it would develop to something more when his assignment was completed. Kay is a very shy and private person, but even with that, she couldn't stop talking about Matt to both Jay and me. When she turned 30, we encouraged her to invite him to her birthday with the rest of her close friends from work. She was very hesitant and panicked at first, but then she thought, yeah, why not? His assignment was almost done anyways. Matt and Jay, my younger sister, met at that party. 6 months later, Jay told us that she and Matt are a couple. This devastated Kay, and I knew that, even though she held herself together and pretended to be happy for them. I almost made her confess her heartbreak to me because I just couldn't let her hurt alone without any support. She said that she wasn't angry or disappointed, that after her birthday, he changed towards her, and he was even a bit angry. Then when he left, he stopped talking to her. Kay said that she probably misinterpreted his interest in her. I know that she is still heartbroken about it. Matt was assigned with her company some more times again, and it was awkward at first, but eventually they were friends again. Now he's a part of the family. Kay never showed that she's hurt though. Now, I found out that Jay told Matt that Kay had a boyfriend at that birthday party. Matt is very handsome and lovely, and Jay basically wanted him. Matt was shocked at first because he was hoping for something more, but he probably just thought that he too had misinterpreted Kay's interest in him. He is very shy too. After the party, he probably decided to cut his losses and not pursue Kay. Jay, however, kept contacting him, asking him out, being supportive. At first, he refused, but then they started dating. How do I know all of this? Jay's roommate spilled the beans to me, thinking I already knew everything. I am closer to Jay than my older sister Kay. Matt has now proposed to Jay. I feel sick because I want to tell Matt what happened so he makes an informed decision. Marriage is not a game. At the same time, he and Jay seem to be perfect for each other, and the love is genuine. Maybe he was interested in Kay initially, yes, but obviously it wasn't that deep. Also, Kay, I want to tell her, but she seems okay with the relationship now too. She made it clear that Matt and Jay obviously are meant to be, or it wouldn't have happened. But I want to tell. Would I be the asshole if I told everyone what happened?
My husband cheated on me and I don't know what to do because I have nothing. My husband and I are both 27 and have been married for 7 years. We weren't close, but we were in the same group of friends in college. We ended up sleeping together one night and I got pregnant. My husband said that he would take care of the baby, but my parents forced me to get married and he accepted. My husband and I at the same time went to live with my in-laws. They were not so nice to me. I had to leave university because I had to help at home with the chores. My husband worked and studied at the same time. With my husband, after we felt comfortable with each other, we started treating each other like husband and wife, calling each other honey, love, and things like that. I was stupid and got pregnant quickly again. After so much trouble with his parents, we went to live in a small apartment. Now I have a 7-year-old girl and a 6-year-old boy. My husband has a good job and earns quite well. We are living in a large apartment, but we are planning to move into a house early next year. Intimacy with my husband has been dead for almost 1.5 years since he arrives late and or very tired from work. Besides, about 6 months ago, he was promoted at work and he has to travel from time to time. He left his Facebook on his laptop and I checked him, and he's been having an affair with his coworker. I don't know for how long exactly, since he only has conversations from about 3 weeks ago, so I guess he deletes the conversations. I sent the evidence to my email and that night I told him. I also told my husband that if he wanted to be with someone else, why he didn't just ask me for a divorce. My husband started making meaningless excuses and ended up saying that he didn't want to separate and that he didn't want to lose his family. He said this has been happening for 2 years. I told him this was something he had to think about before being unfaithful and that I wanted a divorce. We haven't talked since. That was 1.5 weeks ago. He's avoiding me from bringing up the topic of divorce or cheating, I guess. But I think that now I'm regretting the divorce because if we separate, I have nothing. I have no university studies. I have never worked, so my work experience is 0. I have savings that are left over from my monthly expenses, but it is not much even though I manage correctly. Should I go ahead with a divorce? My children are in school now, so there are more expenses to cover. I can't complain about my husband in this regard. Technically, the only problem is that he was unfaithful. Besides, I think I really understand, because we wouldn't be together if it weren't for me getting pregnant. And the fact that we behave like husband and wife does not make the fact that he has to love me or cherish me as anything more than the mother of his children. The only thing I don't understand is why he doesn't want a divorce. What do I do? Do I suggest some kind of co-parenting relationship or something? I guess he doesn't want to have to spend less time with the kids or something.
Am I wrong for kicking out my boyfriend because he confessed his love to my mum? Story time. I'm 26 and me and my boyfriend have been together for the past 3 years. Then after 3 months of dating, I decide it's time to bring him home to meet the family. As soon as we walked in, she is giving loads of compliments. She's being a little bit touchy-feely. You know what, at the time I was just like, well, thank God she likes him. So the night goes really, really well. And just before we were about to leave, she actually asks if she can get his number. He didn't hesitate to give it to her. I was just thinking, you know, this is for when we go out together and she can't get in touch with me. He straight up gave her his number. This is also very normal for parents to have their children's partner's number too. So after this, she would text him every single afternoon and into the evening. Add that this isn't normal behaviour. She has never ever done this with me or any of my older siblings. So fast forward a year, I actually end up getting pregnant. Woohoo! And when I told my mum I was pregnant, I shit you not, she turns to me and says, "Oh, I'm so happy for you, but I wish it was me having his baby." So, what have I just read? I need a minute. But the time comes where I am ready to give birth. Active labour is occurring. I wasn't actually allowed to have my mum in the room with me whilst I was giving birth. I was allowed, however, to have my boyfriend in the room. But he decided that it was all a bit too much for him. He was getting very, very overwhelmed. So he went to sit in the waiting area with my mum. Were you overwhelmed, Steve? Or did you just want to sit with my mom? I would also like to add at this moment in time that I did this whole labour on my own. Even after Steve was notified that the baby had been born, he still did not come and see me. So I get myself all packed up and I walk out into the reception area and I see Steve and my mother in an embrace, hugging. At this point, I'm like, girl, I've got bigger fish to fry. So I go home. On the way back from the hospital, he is driving me and a message pings up from my mum. And he has saved her in his phone as her sexy mother. At this point, I'm absolutely furious and I'm hormonal as fuck. And I was demanding that he tell me the truth as to what was going on. And it was almost as if he wanted to tell me the speed that he came out with it. This guy, I actually can't believe I'm about to say this. This guy turns to me and says, "I'm so sorry, honey. I fell in love with your mum the day that I met her. And with your dad being gone, it just made it all so much easier." That's a strong choice of words to say. I have never someone as hard as I ever have in that moment, and went upstairs, shoved everything that he owns into a little bag and told him to get out of the house. Such strange behaviour, Steve. What are you doing? Anyway, recently I got a new Instagram page and his account came up. And you know what? I'm healed at this point. What can I possibly see that is going to hurt me, you know? So I go onto his page and I see a picture of them on a holiday and the caption says, "It has always been you. I've never blocked anyone quicker than I blocked that dickhead."
Do not get a random roommate in college, okay? Story time. I want to preface this by saying that I do go to a PWI. Okay, my mistake, my bad, not for long, I am graduating, but all of this what I'm about to tell you is produced by or surrounded by the presence of people, okay, sponsored by people, and if they ain't people, they are washed people, okay? So boom, the year is 2021. We are fresh out of COVID, but it was still going on. But the state that I am in, they don't really give a damn about COVID. So we are back in person, back in school, back in the dorms, and I'm a transfer student to this new college, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, let me, live in the dorms so I can acclimate to my peers, you know what I'm saying? Like, try to get some friends. That was a mistake. Nobody in my, hometown was going to the school, so I had to, I had no choice but to do the random roommate thing. And I had 4 potential girls because I wanted to live in a little 2x2, the dorm with the 2 roommates and the shared bathroom, and then the other side, you know what I'm saying? I ended up getting paired up with a girl that I didn't really talk to, that I was supposed to stay in the other suite, but it just ended up we got the dorm together, if that makes sense. I don't know how to describe it better. And it's cool, it's fine, whatever. Like I said, we weren't really that close, but we did get to talking over the summer. And she's from California. She's not fully palm colored, okay? She's like a person of color. So I'm thinking, okay, like she's also from California. So I'm like, okay, this is cool. In the beginning, like everything is fine. I'm saying like we're doing all the roommate things, like we're like decorating our rooms together, we're going grocery shopping together. All of a sudden, like I just start noticing some like red flaggy behavior. First of all, like she joined up in a sorority, which is like cool. Like I also was kind of thinking about rushing, but I realized that I am black and I did not think I would have a great time, especially at a PWI. And that in turn kind of made us go to more and more frat parties as like the semester went on. And like I never really was like a party girl in the beginning. Like I kind of just wanted to like chill and like vibe out. But this girl would like go to a frat party. If she wasn't at a frat party, she would like literally be drunk every weekend. And trust, I get it. Like I was there with her. Like I said, like I wasn't really a big partier. So if we would go out, like I would get drunk, but not that drunk. Like this girl would be like violently fucked up, like almost every weekend. Like I'm not even gonna cap. So that was kind of annoying for me because I did not sign up to be a babysitter, okay? Like we are roommates, you know what I'm saying? And like it just was not giving. Like, anyway, fast forward, like me and her and a couple of other friends from the dorm were all getting kind of like fucked up in my room one night. And this is occurrence number 1 where I should have beat her. I didn't want to be like, you know, that girl. And also being like a black at a PWI, like you really want to like, I guess make a good impression. I don't really know. Like I just was like not trying to like be problematic or whatever. But anyway, we was hanging out or whatever. And we was all kind of messed up. And I don't exactly remember how we got to this point. But randomly, this girl gonna be like, something, nigga. What? And everybody literally was like, I almost said her name. They were like, let's call her, Catherine. They're like, Catherine! Like, oh my God! I wish I could remember exactly, like, what she said, because it was crazy. But like I said, like, we were kind of getting fucked up. But all I remember is she said the fucking N-word. And, like, everybody was like, what the hell's going on? But nobody really, like, we moved on way faster than we should have, you know what I'm saying? So, that was occurrence number 1. Now, this second occurrence is something where I really had to literally hold myself back from beating ass, okay? So, boom. Like, we are out at somebody's birthday party, another friend inside of the dorm. So, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's cute. Like, it's like a bunch of us, like, probably like 10 or so little girls, like, going to a really cute, like, restaurant, like, kind of near campus. We're taking photos. Everything is fine in the beginning. Then, we get inside, and I don't even remember, like, what set me off. Again, I was kind of messed up. We did pregame. All I remember is just being like, what the fuck, nigga? Or something like that. Like, something like, da-da-da-da, nigga. And then this girl is literally going to go, I might mind you. Sorry, not really, but basically, this girl is going to go. Did she just call me a nigga or a nick? Like hard R. Like hard R. At the restaurant. Like this girl is going to say like at this like nice restaurant. Like nobody like really heard it, but like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, what are you saying right now? Everybody was kind of just like, what? Like nobody was like, oh my God, because like we're in public. Like this is like a nice like restaurant. Or we're still like, so I literally get up and leave. Like I was like, somebody can fucking cover my food, and if you got a problem, you can fucking find me about it, because I'm leaving. She's gonna see us at a hard R, and I'm just gonna say, be like, what? Come on, bruh. And I'm like, this is fucking crazy. I call my friend from back home. I'm like, this girl literally just said the hard R. Like, what do I do? Because I need to be some ass right now. Nobody from the dinner's coming out to see me. Nobody, I get it, like, birthday dinner, but, like, nobody gave a fuck. Nobody was, like, my ally, like, nobody. So I'm like, okay, I see how y'all bitches move. I was like, oh, no, y'all ain't gotta worry about me. I'm good. Like, y'all ain't gonna come out and check on me? What the fuck ever. So, yeah, I think I ended up, like, going back inside and, you know, trying to just kind of keep it cute for a little bit. Pay for my little meal, you know, wish the birthday girl happy birthday. 'Cause she didn't really do nothing to me, but, like, her silence was enough for me. Took a Uber home by myself. We all linked together in the beginning. Not no more. There we are. And that was the end of that. Like, you know, could I have done more? Yes. Could I have beat her ass? Absolutely. But, like, after that, like, I just didn't... It wasn't worth it to me anymore. Like, I never really brought that up after that, because I was like, if you don't really realize what you did wrong, like, you're a lost cause. Like, I was like, there's literally no point of, like, talking to you or, like, trying to get through this. So I just kind of, like, started keeping my distance, and we started, you know, hanging out with, like, other people, you know what I'm saying? And that also was a bit of an issue, but that's a whole other fucking story, okay? I guess that's, like, the end. All that to say, like, don't get a random roommate in college, okay? Like, I know that we're like, oh, like, I'm serious. Like, you gotta vet these people out. Like, you know what I'm saying? And, like, I'm trusted to think that maybe, like, you know, just because, like, she's POC, that she would know better. No, she doesn't. She didn't. Like, I take accountability because I was not proactive in, like, being like, hey, that's not cool. But, like, I just felt like we should know better. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I was wrong. Also, this is not meant to, like, bash anyone. Like, I'm just retelling the stories of my life. Like, if you take it seriously, or if you, like, if anybody, like, that I know or from that time sees this, take it to a bill. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have every right to say what the fuck I want to say. It's my account. It's my page. The fuck, you got a problem? You can go hit me up. And so, and Catherine and I are still, like, mutuals on Instagram, oddly enough. So, no bad blood. Just, you're low-key racist.
Am I in the wrong for completely canceling my stepdaughter's birthday bash and leaving her with nothing after I broke up with her dad? I, 43 female, broke up with my ex, Charlie, male 42, last spring, after finding out that he cheated with his ex, Sandy, female 34. We were together for 3 years, in which I was a very committed stepmother to his kid, Sarah, 17. She and I never acted like mother-daughter, but I was the go-to adult when she had problems or needed anything because she and her mom don't get along, and my ex would try to help, but his solutions weren't very effective. 1.5 years ago, I completed a very ambitious project for a large company. I started getting paid, but bonuses and royalties only came in this year, upon launching. I was so happy and so grateful that I opened accounts for my kids. I decided to give Sarah the birthday party that she wanted. She wanted a pajama party for 25 people, with a big bash, fancy cake, balloons, a DJ, and to go along with her friends to stay in a hotel out of town. This would be for her 18th birthday. So I set up a savings account under my main bank account. Charlie ended up asking me to help him fund a business idea, but I declined for a variety of reasons. We were not married and I preferred to go solo. His business idea sucked because he was inventing the wheel and I would be funding everything. We ended up closing the conversation because he got angry and said that he needed a helpful partner by his side, and I responded that I was not taught to give men my money. I know I was harsh and I apologized. I began to feel very insecure when Charlie started to criticize my makeup and my personal style. He also praised other women to my face and I felt horrible. Early in the relationship, we had issues because of his communication with Sandy, his ex, which resulted in him promising to cut her off. Fast forward and I began to notice that Sandy was very active in the family's social media. She gave likes and commented a lot, so I asked him if they were still in contact because it just didn't make any sense. He denied it. I went on a 10-day business trip and our communication was very off. He would only take my calls until early in the night and became very vague about his daily activities. I couldn't reach him at all for 2 nights on several days apart. He sounded weird when we finally talked, so I lied about having to delay my return for a few days and arrived 1 day earlier instead. I came home to find used condoms in the trash. My world was shattered and I threw up. His face changed when he saw me at home. He also claimed to have been at his mother's house until late. I said I was sick when he asked what was going on and didn't mention anything, but he rushed to take out the trash and do the laundry. I got into his phone, I know it's wrong, and found hundreds of messages from his ex, pictures, voicemails, and conversations like they had never broken up. He consulted her about things, told her about his day, etc. Then I found a family chat that made me sick. He, Sarah, and Sandy spent a whole 2 days at a camping site last year when I went to visit family, and there were pictures from last Christmas with his ex at his mother's house. Obviously, he had a full-blown relationship behind my back and his entire family was aware of it. I directly confronted him and he tried to deny it until I laid one of his voicemails. I couldn't take the humiliation, so I moved out weeks later. I closed the bank account for the birthday bash and kept the money for myself. I cut everyone off, including his kid. He reached out to me and pleaded with me not to take away Sarah's birthday celebration. I never replied. I know she's a teenager and she has no control over her dad's actions, but she seems awfully comfortable in her pictures with his ex and I feel extremely betrayed. Also, there's no way in hell that I'm funding a party that I'm not going to attend for obvious reasons. And I don't want to contribute to a celebration so that his shitty family could eat and drink on my dime. Sarah's mom always had separate celebrations for her and her gift was supposed to be a camping trip. My ex's family cannot afford the celebration unless they saved way in advance. My best friend says that maybe I can send Sarah a gift if I find it in myself to forgive her actions, but I don't feel like it. His sister sent me a voicemail the other day asking me to please don't turn my back on her niece. I feel awful because I know that this is Sarah's dream, but I'm too disgusted to back out of my decision. Also, the ex that he cheated with is not Sarah's mom. She's just an ex and much younger.
Am I the astronaut for choosing to not buy my wife a new car? All right, I, 34 male, have been married to my wife, 32 female, for 5 years. She's a stay-at-home mom, and I'm the primary breadwinner. We have 3 kids, 2 teenagers, and 1 toddler. We currently only have 1 car, which I use for my daily commute to work. My wife doesn't have a car of her own. Recently, my wife has been asking to buy a new car. She says she's so bored in the house and it's unbearable waiting for me so she can use it. She argues that having a new car would be really beneficial for her, especially since she's often at home with the kids and needs to run errands or attend appointments. However, I don't think a new car is necessary. We take road trips every month or so, which gives her some time out of the house and family time. I let her take the car out when I am home and can manage our kids. I can always accommodate if she needs to take her kids for an appointment or an outing, plus she can always take the bus. Plus, she's usually busy with the kids. I've told her that I don't believe it's worth spending the money on a new car right now, and that we should focus on other financial priorities. Instead of spending money on a new car right now, we can wait and invest to save up for the things that are worth more. She says I'm being stingy when we can afford it, which is true, and is why I've been looking to buy a new car in a year or two. Buying another car right now means I cannot get a new one in a year or two, which I think is much more better, as the new one that I'm planning on buying will have more space for the kids. I see no point in maintaining two smaller cars when we can have one big one that'll accommodate all of our needs. My wife is frustrated and feels that I'm not considering her needs. She's upset that I'm dismissing her request and feels that I'm being controlling by not allowing her to have a say in such a significant purchase. I think these are very heavy accusations. She's chosen to be a stay-at-home mom, and I, because of that, have become the primary breadwinner, which means since I bring in the money, she leaves it to me to manage it. She doesn't understand how to be responsible with it because she never has to deal with our finances, since that's also my job. I'm conflicted because I want to be responsible with our finances, but I also want to support my wife and address her needs. Am I the astronaut for refusing to let my stay-at-home wife buy a new car even though we can afford it, and she doesn't currently have one? Edit! I should have made it more clear. She is not stuck in the house the whole day. I work a regular 9 to 5, and the day isn't over by the time I come home, so she is free to take the car and do whatever she likes, such as her hobbies or appointments, etc. She isn't stuck with the kids all day because our teens come home from school at 4, and our toddler, who is 4, is well-behaved and not much of a hassle.
I gave my boyfriend an ultimatum. It's either me or his best female friend. Right when me and my boyfriend started dating, he told me all about his best female friend. Let's call her Megan. They work together and they've been super, super close for about 2 years. He was super transparent about the fact that when they first became friends, they went out one night and they kissed. I know, first red flag. Should have ended it there, but I was trying to be cool and chill. And he told me it only ever happened once. And then they both realized they were way better as friends. And since then, there's been nothing between them. And stupid, naive little me said, you know what, babe? I trust you. I'm sure that she will never be an issue in our relationship. I would love to meet her. Let's all be friends. Yeah, okay, I'm not that girl anymore. Now, my boyfriend pushed off the two of us meeting for so long. He was always coming up with excuses why he was busy, why she was busy, and they would just hang out one-on-one. Okay, I know. Now it's sus. But at the time, he was so convincing. And when I finally did meet her, the girl was not pleasant. She literally looked at me and was like, oh my gosh, I totally forgot he even had a girlfriend. He never talks about his love life around me. And I realized right then and there that this was not about to be the start of a new beautiful friendship. I was just gonna have to tolerate her. So I was kind to her while she threw digs my way the entire night. And do you know how hard it was to keep my mouth shut? But I did, for my boyfriend's sake, because it was his best friend. But when we got home, I was like, can you believe she spoke to me that way? Like, why did you not say anything? And he was like, I don't know what you're talking about. About 6 months ago, my boyfriend came home and he was looking stressed. And this man is the most type B man in the world, so I've literally never seen him stressed. So I asked, babe, what's wrong? And he told me that he had been talking to Megan earlier, and he told her that the two of us were getting really serious. And she burst out into tears. She told my boyfriend that she was so upset because she always thought that they were gonna be endgame. Like, you guys kissed once, what do you mean, endgame? Apparently the conversation ended with them deciding that they couldn't be friends anymore because, she had these lingering feelings and it wouldn't be fair to either of them. What about me? It also wouldn't be fair to me. Whatever. Okay, you know what? I didn't complain because I was like, I went, I didn't have to tell him not to be friends with this girl. So, I seem cool and chill, but I get the outcome I wanted. Or so I thought. Only a month and a half later, guess who is calling up my boyfriend? You guessed right. Yeah, it was Megan. And she was crying, telling him that she was going through a really hard time because her and her boyfriend broke up, probably because you were secretly in love with my boyfriend. And that through the breakup, it made her realize how much she missed my boyfriend's friendship and was wondering if they could reconcile and start being friends again. And my boyfriend comes to me, little puppy dog eyes, saying, babe, it would mean the world to me if you could support this friendship because she means so much to me and you mean so much to me. Okay, I'm still an idiot at this point of the story, y'all. I let them be friends, okay? I said it would be fine. Why? I don't know. But I know that the only way I can be cool with the situation is if I become friends with Megan myself. So I start inviting Megan to all my little girly hangouts with my friends. If we're ever going out for drinks, going to the movies, anything, I invite her along. And she always declines. She said that she's so busy, she's booked out for the next 3 months. Megan, you really don't have any other friends. I don't understand. But girly had absolutely no problem finding time to fit my boyfriend in. If the two of them were hanging out alone, oh, she was so down to hang out. And I started noticing that when my boyfriend was inviting her to things, she would always ask, well, is your girlfriend going to be there? And if he said yes, she'd be busy. If he said no, guess who would show up? And I kind of thought maybe it was in my head, but then I was on Instagram and I saw that she accidentally liked one of my photos from 2011. I know that was an accident. That was definitely not on purpose. And I did not look cute in it, okay? So I know she was making fun of me, which cute, I'm Not Pretty by Megan Maroney because she was mean girling it. I know she was being a mean girl. And I know this because my boyfriend literally was telling me that, hey, Megan was telling me that she could give you some really good style tips to up your wardrobe. He thought this was her being nice. No, she's insulting me. She's belittling my wardrobe. Girl, I dress cute. Stop. But last week is where I absolutely lost it. I had asked Megan earlier in the week if she wanted to do a little paint and sip night with my friends. It was going to be cute, fun, wholesome, and she said that she was way too busy and couldn't. Now, I guess she didn't know I was with my boyfriend at the time. I texted her asking her if she wanted to hang out because immediately after she told me that she was too busy, she texted my boyfriend asking if he wanted to hang out the same night and the same time as my paint and sip. Megan knew that she could get my man all to herself and she had no shame lying to me. She knew that I was going to figure out that they were hanging out. My boyfriend doesn't hide it from me. And she didn't care. She didn't care at all. To me, it was she was shoving it in my face. And that's when little Miss Sunshine went right out the window, okay? That was my last straw. I tried playing nice with her, but it obviously wasn't working. So I finally go off on my boyfriend and I tell him everything that I've been feeling. How she's been rude to me and disrespectful. How she just blows me off all the time. And how she's 100% in love with him. And he has to be aware. And the fact that he just lets all of this happen is disrespectful. And do you know what this man told me? He told me that I was overreacting. I look at him with a stone cold expression and say, it's either me or her. And he's acting confused. What are you talking about? And I say, it's either me or her. You have to pick. And he's like, that's ridiculous. I'm not picking. And I said, well, you have to. If you don't want to pick, that's your choice and I'm out. Okay? So it's either me or her. He stormed out of the house and I haven't heard from him or talked to him since. And to me, that was all of the clarity I needed. If he wasn't going to immediately pick me, I know who he really wants to pick. And even though I hate the thought of letting Megan win, what I hate more is being in a relationship where I feel like another woman is competition.
Am I wrong for how I reacted after I found out my husband ran a secret background check on me before we got married? We've been married for 3 years and I only just found out recently that before we got married, my husband ran a background check on me and my family. I found out because we were on vacation with his family and they were doing things I had no interest in participating in a few times, so I stayed behind. He let me borrow his laptop because I left mine at home. I made a folder with my name and I was searching for it when I found another folder with my name. The folder was full of reports on me, my family, including extended family, and 2 of my childhood friends. I read as much of the reports as I could before my husband and his family came home for the day. At first, I was just heard he would do something like this without talking to me first, but as I read more and started finding out things about my family and friends that I never ever knew, I started to get angry. It's hard to put into words, but I felt like I had gone cold all over, but also like it wasn't me reading these things. So when I saw my husband, I exploded on him in front of his family. At first, he tried to say it wasn't a big deal, and his cousin chimed in to say it was normal and he wasn't the only one who had done it in their family. When he saw it wasn't calming down, he tried to get me to go into our room so we could talk about it privately, but I told him I wasn't going anywhere with him and I was leaving. My husband told me to stay and he would sleep somewhere else or he would leave, but we are staying in a house owned by his parents and it felt weird for me to stay and make him leave, especially since his family were there too. I ended up staying at a hotel for the night and we both flew home shortly after that, cutting the vacation short. So, am I the asshole?